go to your index.page, and over here let's mention an action attribute, and let's mention it to some page. Before that, let's create a new page for displaying the values we have entered in index page. So new JSF page, and let's name it show, and finish. So in this page, let's just create a new tag which is named output text, and the value we are outputting is animal bean dot type. Let's create another output text, value animal bean dot total number. Okay, and let's give you a BR tag over here. Let's save, and let's make a change to index.xhtml file. We'll mention the attribute as show. Okay, let's save this page and run it. Let me just run it, then I'll tell you what is happening. Right click, run. So let's see the page. Let's enter something, dog, and the number is 6, and submit. What we are seeing here is show.xhtml page, and the value entered is dog and 6. So what happened is, when you submitted this index page, because we clicked the submit button, the values in this input fields, since they are value bound to this bean, the bean got created because it's request scope. There is a new bean for each request, and the values got entered in these fields. And because in the index page the command button action attribute has value of show, the show page is shown. Instead of this, we could have even mentioned .xhtml over here. Okay, just to show this diagrammatically, consider this. So when the index.xhtml page is submitted, a request scoped bean, animal bean gets created, and then the show.xhtml page is responded with. So if you're wondering how come the values entered in this page are shown in this page, it's because of this bean. When the request gets submitted, this bean gets created, the fields get populated, and before the response goes out, the request is still alive, the response gets created. The response is nothing but the show.xhtml file, and the response is sent to the client, and the same values are shown because this was value bound to the type and total number, as well as this page was value bound to this field. Only thing was this rendered as an input tag, and this is just an output tag. So showing the fields is not such a big deal. So let's think about saving the fields we have just created. So go to the animal bean, and let's now create a new method. Public, let the output be string, and save animal. Okay, and here you will write some code for saving the fields. Whatever fields you get from the bean, you can write some code to save the fields. In database, and let's return a string named show. Now in the index page, instead of show over here, we'll mention the name of the method, which is animal bean dot save animal, and let's remove the brackets over here. So when the user clicks this button, when the user presses this button, this method gets run, which is over here. And here we'll write some code to save the animal in the database. Right now we just printed a statement. Later on we'll replace this with the actual code for saving the animal, and later on we return show, which shows this page, show.xhtml. Now let's run this example. Run. Let's enter an animal name zebra and phi, and let's submit. So what we have shown is the show.xhtml page with the value of zebra and phi. So before we mentioned show over here, instead of this we now mention the name of this method, and this method got executed, and now this method returns show. So it's basically the same thing, but we are going via this method. So basically your page and your bean were bound because of this statement, right? Over here. In the first two statements, we bound the fields type and type number to the bean, and in the third statement, we bound the save animal method to the save animal method over here. So these two statements are known as value binding expressions, and this is known as method binding expression. Now the name of the bean is the name of the bean with the first letter in lowercase. If you're not happy with this name, you can actually queue any other name like this, name equal to some bean. So if this is the case, then in the page you have to mention some bean over here. Okay, right now we are happy with the defaults, right? Save. So expression language is used for binding your pages with the Java code. Imagine that you are using some other framework or maybe just servlets, then maybe you would have been given some request object from which you would have to pick up these values, then you have to convert them and then use them. Instead of this, we just bound them over here, and as you can see, we bound them over here. These values are also automatically converted for us. This we entered strings over here and it converted into int implicitly. And on top of that, we didn't create this bean. This bean is a managed bean. This bean got automatically created for us, and the values were inserted and we utilize those values.